G'day everybody, how you going today? It is so good to see you. I do hope you are super well. We are getting closer to the worldwide shipping date for the brand new 50mm 1.4 from Nikon. And I thought in this video we would try it on a selection of Z mount cameras because can't go on any other cameras. Unlike every other mount on the market, the Nikon mount is the shortest, and by being the shortest it means you can't mount Z mount lenses onto other cameras. They won't be able to do it. The selection of cameras here is covering almost all of them, but not quite. Some of them have the same bodies or very similar bodies, like the Z5, the Z6, the Z6II, the Z7 and the Z7 II. We've only got one of those to represent all of those, and today we're only going to have one APS-C camera, which we can see right there next to the ZF in gorgeous sunset orange, the ZFC. All right, let's try it on so you can see what the lenses look like, and I can tell you how do they feel, what's the handling like. In this video, we will not be testing files from the lens. There are other videos for that. And of course, over here on my left, on your right, I have my selection of Nikon Z 50mm lenses, although this is not mine. This has to go back. It's just about to go back. My 50mm 1.8S and my 50mm 1.2, which I would be filming on right now if it wasn't in the shot, because it's my favorite lens to do this sort of thing with. Let's start with the Z6. Now the Z6, second Z camera that I purchased, love it. The Z7 was the first, and there you go. This has got a great feel about it, lovely weight to it. There it is, that's what it looks like. What's interesting that's different between the old 50mm 1.8S and this one is, back then, Nikon didn't decide to give us this multi-function ring here, which is very well dampened. We do have, obviously, the focus ring. Now, this lens is only 420 grams, coupled with the Z6, Z6II, Z5, Z7, Z7 II. You are going to have a very similar experience to what we're seeing right here. It feels great and it feels lovely and light in the hand. Now, if you don't know what the price of this lens is yet, it's $499 US without taxes, or it's 929 Australian dollars with taxes. Well, gorgeous sunset orange. And look, there it is. I really, really like how that looks. It feels great. The ZF is actually a little bit heavier, and I do have the small rig grip on it so that there's a little bit more to hold on to. There's something that Nikon did with their lenses to make them a little bit ageless, a little bit timeless, I think, by their very minimal design. It doesn't look like it's stuck in the 80s and 90s like some brands of lenses. It sort of looks like, well, I don't know where it's from. Timeless, and I think it looks good here on the ZF. All right, there we go. Yes, lovely, focusing quick, feels good, and honestly, as I said before, because this lens is so light, you're really not feeling it on the front of the ZF. This would be just such a great companion with the ZFC or the ZF. It's a pretty similar aesthetic experience to the ZF. Obviously, the whole package is a little bit smaller and lighter. Again, I have the small rig grip and base, which has a few cool things in it, like there's a cold shoe mount here, and you actually have an Arca Swiss that goes in the other direction here on the bottom. And obviously, it extends the grip as well, as we can see over here. Very light, very small package. With this coloring, I think that looks super nice, and it's a great companion on the Z6, any of them, ZF or ZFC. It seems to be designed really well to go on any of these aesthetically. It's a 420 gram lens, very light, very easy to hold, and it performs, as you can see in other videos. Absolute cracker of a camera we have here. This is the Z6 III. I love kind of everything about this camera. You know, there's been so much noise about this camera, and I think people just need to use it, and then they'll understand that It's a very powerful camera at this price point. If you're a video creative and you just want so many options, so many different specifications, the Z6III absolutely nails it. And then from a stills perspective, absolutely, it's going to give you what you need for sports, some wildlife, photojournalism, travel. It's just here for so many different types of photography in a small, light package. This is the first of Nikon's non-ZF or APS-C cameras that has a flip-out screen, which is another super exciting part of the Z6III story. It's also got, as has been talked about a lot, the very best EVF that Nikon has ever made. It's got the brightest EVF on the market ever, and from my perspective, it's the closest. And this is to do with a lot of things: refresh rate, gamut of colors, how many dots there are, and the brightness, along with the optical elements that Nikon use here that go between our eyes and the actual little TV screen in there. All these things have gone on to make the Z6III EVF the most DSLR-like experience that I've had to date with a mirrorless camera. It's just a great little camera. It's really, really solidly built. The future is bright. How does it feel with the new 50mm 1.4? It feels great. The Z6III is quite a chunky camera. It's got a little bit more chunk to it than the Z6. It's only an extraordinarily small amount, but it somehow seems to make the difference. It's also just ever so slightly heavier, and all these things make this feel very assured in the hand, along with feeling great and not too heavy. And of course, this lens and camera combo, well, they perform superbly together. When it comes to autofocus and low light usage, which is, well, it could be a lot of people purchase a lens like this lens, this 50mm 1.4, because they are planning on using it for low light situations. Well, the Z6III, there's literally no better camera if you want to be able to focus in the dark. And there's kind of no better camera if you want to do video creations in the dark and get your 6K, for example, your 6K RAW built in. It's super exciting stuff. And of course, when you're talking about video, well, this lens is very light and it gives you a great look. And when we're shooting video, we don't pixel peep in the same way we do when we're looking at stills. And so this entry range of 1.4 lenses is absolutely perfect for video usage due to size, weight, and the speed of the apertures. So from my perspective, if you're thinking of being a guerrilla filmmaking, being able to shoot in all sorts of lighting conditions, including extreme low light, this is a great combo, and it's an affordable combo. Just everything that you'd expect. What's interesting about the Z6, the Z6III, and the Z8 is they're all very similar sizes. You kind of don't feel much difference between them. Even so, you're slowly progressing. You're slowly adding a few grams and you're slowly adding a bit more size. But all of these three cameras are actually pretty similar. They'd fit in your bag in much the same space, and they fit in your hand in much the same way. The Z8 is obviously the biggest and heaviest of them all, which means this petite little lens at 420 grams, absolutely working the dream. Super, super fast. The STM motor in there is super fast, almost completely inaudible. Lenses making noises is not something that we really talk about anymore these days because they really are all very, very quiet. But again, this is a great combo. It's a great video combo. It's a great travel combo. As a journalist, what they're doing is allowing anybody at any camera price point, from the ZFC, the Z30, all the way up to a Z9, you can get this 1.4 lens. It's a fast lens, and in the past, the 1.4s were largely considered the premium lenses. What Nikon is giving us is better than F quality lenses, not S-class lenses, somewhere in the middle, but it is a Z-class lens, and they're giving it to you at a fast aperture, 1.4, and Here it is at this entry level range of lenses. Now, why do I say range? Well, we've gotten a 35mm and a 50mm in very close clip. And from my perspective, why not follow what we've got with the 1.8S lenses already, which is a 20, a 24, a 35, a 50, and an 85. I see no reason why this won't follow. And then there will be a whole suite of 1.4 Z lenses that are really good and really fast. And for the majority of users, you can use them and you'll be super happy with them. I really like this lens. I really like how it performs. And I can only hope that we'll see lenses beyond those 5, maybe a 16mm, maybe a 12mm, maybe a 105 or a 135, 1.4. Who knows? All right, let's throw this onto the Z9. Obviously the Z9 is a deliriously large camera compared to all of the rest of these. All of these are sub a kilo. This one's over a kilo. The lens on the front, it doesn't really make any difference to anything. It's there, it performs, it looks great. And of course, we kind of already know this because the 50mm 1.4 and the 50mm 1.8S actually are almost exactly identically the same size. There is a small difference in weight, but they look very, very similar. And if you didn't look too closely for either the switch on the side of the 1.8 or for the ring wrapped around the 1.4, you wouldn't really know which lens somebody was shooting with, because of course they've got the same sized filter thread as well. That is how similar they are. I love this strategy. You can go for the closer to perfect lens in the 1.8S, or you can go for the more character lens in the 1.4. It's a little bit more affordable, but the prices are not that different, and you can just choose which direction you want to go in. Or if you really want to go big kahuna burgers, you can go to the range of 1.2 lenses. And yes, when I say range, there are only 2 at the moment. Quite frankly, I do expect more, and we have had a 35 1.2 sitting on a roadmap for a long time. It'll come at some point. It's just being made absolutely mega awesome. That's what I think's going on. All right, everybody, I'd love you to tell me which camera was your favorite for the 50mm 1.4. Is the 50mm 1.4 a lens that you're thinking of getting? Do you like the 1.4 range? What do you think of that whole idea? And what other lenses would you like to see in 1.4? All right, it's been so good to see you, and if this is your first time here, I'd love to see you again. So please subscribe, please share, and please like. All right, bye for now.